minutes of the October 6th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting as presented.
Do we have a
I'll second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I didn't hear. Okay, thank you. Moving on to scheduled hearings. So this is B1. So it's a continual use permit 25-002, request for conditional use permit for an animal education and exhibit, AKA the zoo, at Arizona Rattlesnake Aversion at 512 South Beeline Highway, Suite 7, Payson, Arizona 85541, and it's APN 304-03-026. Can I ask the staff for the report?
Yes, thank you. This is a request for a conditional use permit for an indoor animal education and exhibit facility known as the zoo at Arizona Rattlesnake Aversion. The applicant and agent is Ben Shakespeare, and the property owner is NTA Commercial Properties, Beeline Highway LLC. The request is to operate a small indoor reptile and amphibian exhibit within an existing 895 square foot tenant space in the Twin Pines Plaza. The facility would house a collection of reptiles, amphibians, and invertebrates for public viewing and education. All venomous species would be maintained in reinforced locking zoo-grade enclosures, and the applicant will be required to maintain all Arizona Game and Fish licensing. The zoning administrator reviewed the use and determined it is appropriately classified as a zoo or animal exhibit rather than a museum, which requires a conditional use permit in the C2 zoning district in which it's located. The development services team has also reviewed the application, and any comments were included in your staff report. Operations are conducted indoors with no exterior changes proposed. Staff finds the use will have minimal impacts on noise, light, traffic, or utilities, and that existing shared parking is adequate. The proposal is consistent with the general plan's goals related to youth education, recreation, and tourism. The applicant also has implemented appropriate safety protocols, including staff supervision, secure enclosures, and surveillance. The required citizens' participation process was completed, including mailed and hand-delivered notices and a public meeting held on November 24th. No significant concerns have been reported to staff. And staff finds the request meets the conditional use permit review criteria and recommends approval with the conditions outlined in the staff report. I will note that the applicant has requested a modification to the condition requiring that all activity remain indoors. And he is here present today to give a brief description of his project and also explain his request for that modification to that condition.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, I'm going to open it for public comment.
Thank you very much, everyone. My name is Ben Shakespeare. I'm the owner of Arizona Rattlesnake Aversion. I just wanted to take a few minutes, not so much to focus on the recreational, the tourism, and the educational opportunities that a zoo, albeit one dedicated to snakes, lizards, and amphibians, presents. Because honestly, if I was in your position, I wouldn't be going, zoo sounds weird. I'd be going, everyone I know who's into snakes, keeps 100 snakes, it is a weird person. We all know people into snakes. We all know people into snakes. There's two types of snake people. There's the weird people. They're sketchy. They come out at night. They live in a lot of basements. I can say that. I'm a snake guy. But let's be honest, there's a certain type of person that's into snakes and lizards. And frankly, they usually give me the willies, so I can't imagine how other people feel about them. The other type of person that's into snakes is Australians. And that's not a matter of curiosity, that's a matter of survival necessity. So I've lived in the US for about 15 years now. I got a scholarship to come to high school about 15 years ago now, to come to college, sorry, in Minnesota, where I met a Minnesotan girl, got married, typical immigrant, and we've been living happily in Payson since about 2020 now. My background's actually as a lawyer, which does absolutely nothing for the keeping of animals, but it does impart a certain appreciation for things like permitting, liability, insurance, and other things like those. So on a business side, on a technical side, we are doing things right because I cannot afford the liability of a snake bite on a child, as I'm sure you guys can understand. My wife's actually a middle school science teacher. She's not here today because she decided teaching a science class was more important than being here, so we'll give her a pass on that one. But the business is owned and operated by myself and my wife, Julia. I'm also a master herpetologist. Herpetology is the study of reptiles, snakes, amphibians, lizards. I have a master's certification in that through the Amphibian Foundation based out of Georgia. So we are eminently qualified. For the last 4 or 5 years, we've been operating Arizona Rattlesnake Aversion, which is a canine rattlesnake aversion training company. We go all over the state and we teach dogs to avoid rattlesnakes, thousands and thousands and thousands of dogs a year. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to teach a lot of kids, go to a lot of school groups, go to a lot of church groups, summer camps and things like that to do education. And it's become a really important part of what we do. So instead of going, no, you can't come see our animals, we decided we would start saying, yes, you can come see our animals. And the way to do that in Arizona is to have a publicly available space. That is the one requirement for a zoo license, is a publicly available space. You cannot have a private zoo in Arizona. It has to be open to the public. The final thing I wanted to mention, because obviously I think the big concerns have to do with safety, not with whether this is a great recreational opportunity. We've been in coordination with Banner. I did coordinate with Hoyt, the CEO over there, who directed me to Kim Shelley, I believe, the director of that emergency department, who then directed me to the director of that pre-hospital management department, and we have coordinated our protocols on venomous snake bites to make sure we're both doing things the same way. Having said that, there is no danger of snake bite, at least venomous snake bite to the public. The danger is to me and my wife and the staff that we will eventually have. That's really all I had other than the modification. It was already mentioned, Fish and Game has to approve, not just you can do this, they have to approve every animal. So species that I can currently own as a pet with no permitting or anything, once we open a zoo, that then requires Fish and Game approval. So every single animal, down to the smallest frog, the smallest spider, will have to be approved by Fish and Game. The one modification we were asking for, I believe one of the recommendations was no outdoor use. We don't want to keep animals outdoor, but would like to do meet and greets outdoor. So we do have some ambassador animals, ball pythons, large tortoises, large slow-moving lizards, things that people can touch and interact with, and would like the opportunity to do that outside. We have a rear gravel area, sorry, I'm not used to speaking for so long, a rear gravel area where they can do meet and greets, take photos, introduce them to some animals. So that's the only reason we would like to use the outdoor spaces for those meet and greets. I will leave it at that unless everyone has questions. I did bring some snakes because people usually don't want to hear from me. They just want to see a snake. So I've got a snake to show you if that guy's okay. Why not, right?
Yeah, everybody. Come here.
I'm not coming near
There's
Miranda, I
always
already
one.
know.
There's always one.
So, we can talk about that I can do this safely and that my company is capable of doing this safely and dealing with venomous snakes. And it's easy to just show you. So this guy is a muzzled western diamondback rattlesnake. This is how we train dogs to avoid rattlesnakes. We need to use a live rattlesnake because that's how a dog learns. The only way we can do this safely is by putting a muzzle on those rattlesnakes. So it is completely safe. This is what we do day in and day out, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times a year. We work with these snakes. This creates considerable danger to us, but it's safer for the dog and it's safer for the snake. So we choose to do things a dangerous way sometimes because we care about the animals and want to keep them safe. So I did want to bring him just to show you guys because I can tell you 100 times we can deal with venomous snakes safely and not put anyone at risk. And it's easy to just show you, give a diamondback a kiss and go. If it was unsafe, I wouldn't do that.
Actually, can I see the muzzle?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't describe what it is per my insurer, but what I can say is it's exactly what it looks like, as rude as that sounds.
What size would that be in the?
This is an adult. This is about, they get larger in Arizona than this, but generally speaking, in Arizona, our rattlesnakes aren't that big. Something called Adam's rule. Desert species don't have to be big because they don't need fat. Because it's too hot in the desert to require all that fat. So our rattlesnakes top out about 5 feet, the largest ones. Okay. So this guy's about 4 years old now.
Thank you.
That is all I have, unless there's questions. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
It seems like that he's
How
not,
come?
obviously you've had this for a pet for a while because he's not fired up.
They,
with you handling them or anything?
rattlesnakes are nice. I know that's crazy. The rattle, they've been around for 6 million years. So all this rattle is, it's used to mammoths. It evolved with mammoths treading around. So all this rattle is a don't tread on me. It's a warning to large animals that it doesn't want to get squished. So as long as it's not at imminent risk of getting squished, they have no reason to hurt you. Venom is very important to rattlesnakes as well. It's not just to kill things. It actually starts to digest that food for them. So when they kill a rat or kill a mice, by the time they ingest it, that venom's actually breaking down the enzymes inside the animal already. Bottom line is they don't want to waste that venom on you because it can't eat you. So it's a waste of that venom to try and venomate humans most of the time.
Okay. Thank you. We're still in public comment. Are there any other public comments regarding the conditional use permit for this facility?
Can we ask a question?
Yeah.
What, are you naming all the snakes?
They do have names because we love them. I couldn't tell you. This one's Mr. Blue because he has a blue rattle. We do have, I work with the Tonto Apache tribe as their CPS officer. So once or twice a month, they take a bunch of snakes into the youth group there to do an educational presentation. And they have been going through and naming everything. So they will be named, not by me, they'll be named by the youth from the Tonto Apache tribe, actually.
Anything? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Greg with the Department of Economic Development.
Sorry.
It's okay, it's all right. Believe it or not, once upon a time, there was a snake living in my house. I had no idea the snake was there as a pet until I went upstairs in my daughter's room in her closet. I was like, what the hell is that? That's not my comment. I will tell you that, the town of Payson, as far as we've been charged in economic development, is to encourage tourism and activities related to tourism. Perfect example of what we're trying to encourage.
Appreciate it.
So will you have an ongoing training here for dogs?
Yes, so we're going to continue that training. Our regional training might lessen, so that'll affect people in Yuma and Havasu and Flagstaff. It won't affect anyone in Payson. We'll continue to train here as much as possible. Over the last 3 years, we've had something like 245 people come from out of state for our training because they can't get it where they are. So we've had people come and stay in Payson from Mexico, Alaska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Montana, specifically to get their dog trained by us, spend a day, and then they turn around and go home.
Will the dogs recognize the different species of a poisonous snake then?
So crotalids, which is rattlesnakes, have a unique scent. So the dog is smart enough to sniff a rattlesnake and then sniff a gopher snake and go, haha, I know the difference. I can still chase a gopher snake. I find that 50% of dogs are just going to go, snake's a snake's a snake. That stick's actually a snake as well. They're going to be super hyper vigilant. And bold young male dogs, big surprise there, are going to push it and go, I'm smarter than you. I can chase that snake still.
Yeah.
What is the protocol for a snake bite?
So in Arizona, it's really easy. Call 911 because